Good morning, Twin Lakes. My name is Jared. I am new to the TLC team. This is my very first daily Devo, so I am so excited to be here with you this morning. And I want to talk about something that's been on my mind lately, and that is the power of belief. What we believe frames what we think, and what we think drives our choices, and the choices we make ultimately shape our lives. So it's so important. In the Explore God series, you heard Mark talk about how we know that Jesus is God. And Jesus sort of mysteriously revealed his identity by doing things that only God can do and saying things that only God can say. And by doing this, he sort of pulled people in out of indecision and it challenged them to choose what they believed about him. I mean, the evidence was there, the truth was available if they were listening. There's this beautiful story of a man with leprosy, the absolute worst disease at the time, who encountered Jesus and he believed certain things to be true about him. I mean, he came as broken as a person can be to Jesus. And after the encounter, he left forever changed. The story's in Matthew chapter 8, verse 1. And it says, "A leper came to Jesus and bowed down before him and said, 'Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean.' Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him and said, 'I am willing, be cleansed.' And immediately his leprosy was cleansed." So we can see first that the leper believed Jesus was more than a man. I mean, it was a massive risk for him to approach Jesus like this because it was actually the law that if you had leprosy, you had to announce your presence in public. You had to maintain a distance, and whenever you were out, you had to stay covered at all times. I mean, this was a huge risk for him. And he, it says, ran up to Jesus. In the book of Luke, it says that he fell down on his face before Jesus. Matthew uses the word to describe the man's posture, proskuneo, which means reverence, kneeling in worship. If you read this passage in the King James, it's translated that he worshiped Jesus. Now, this is something that would be reserved for God only. We also see that he believed that he was more than a teacher. Notice he refers to Jesus as Lord, which is kurios in the Greek, and that means Lord, God, or Master. Interesting fact, in the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, the word kurios is used somewhere around 7,000 times, always in reference to Yahweh, the God of creation. Now, in the New Testament, it's used somewhere around 740 times, used always referring to Jesus. He also believed that Jesus was more than a healer. Notice what he says to Jesus. He says, "If you are willing, you can cleanse me." There's no doubt in the leper's mind that if Jesus wants to, he's able to heal him. Now, this was a pretty bold statement because in Israel's history, only two people had ever been cleansed of leprosy. And that was Moses and Moses' sister, Miriam. And in both cases, the healing was done by God alone. So this is a huge statement. I believe Matthew is giving us clues that point to a bigger reality, the reality that Jesus is so much more than just a man or a great teacher or a healer. I was thinking about what would change in my life or yours if you really truly believed that Jesus is who he said he is. He said things like, "Come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. Peace I leave you, my peace I give you." He said, "I'm going to come back and take you to be with me." These are powerful statements. I believe the most important question that anyone can ask is the question that Jesus posed to his disciples when he said, "Who do you say that I am?" And just like this leper, this question really has the potential to change everything in your life. God bless you guys, and we will see you next time.